My name is James, and today I'm going to be breaking down UFC 305, Israel Adesanya taking on Dricus Du Plessis. I'm going to be giving you a quick breakdown of the card, my best bets, and the lock of the week. Speaking about lock of the week, how did I do last weekend? Smashed it. Car rose up, should have been a -7 quadrillion. Smashed it out in the park. Lock of the week, hitting at 100%. Perfecto. Am I worried about this lock of the week? A little bit, but we'll kind of get into that. How did I do on the rest of the card? We went 7 out of 10 for picks. Great stuff, 70% win rate, which is kind of what I'm saying on average. Follow the socials in the description there. And like and subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers. If we can hit that before even the end of the year or even end of the month, amazing. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into my lock of the week. All right, UFC 305 lock of the week is none other than Luana Santos. She's been lock of the week before, so I know what she's about, and guess what? Smashed it first round submission. She's taking on somebody like Casey O'Neill, who is okay. You know, she's top 15. She's on a 2-fight skid right now. Her last fight against De Silva, she did not impress me. Okay, in 2 rounds, she threw 30 punches that landed. She failed 2 takedowns, and eventually De Silva took her to the ground and submitted her. I think the exact same is going to happen here. I think Luana Santos, she's either A, going to have success on the feet because she's a decent boxer, or B, she's going to use her BJJ and judo, throw her to the ground, and submit her. Be cautious of the over 1.5 or 2.5 here. This could end early, just like Luana's last fight. Obviously, short notice for her does worry me a little bit. But I think she's still going to stay focused and still going to get the job done and have a nice turnaround here and get another win in the UFC, creating a 4-0 within the UFC. So Luana Santos, lock of the week. Let's get it done. Come on. Okay, let's move on into breaking down the card quickly. First matchup, we obviously have the Luana Santos fight. I think she's lock of the week. She's going to get it done. Short notice does worry me a little bit. I just think skill for skill, she's just the better fighter in this fight. She's also going to be the bigger girl here, and higher volume, more deadly on the ground. What could go wrong? Knock on wood there. Next up, we have Jack Jenkins taking on Herbert Burns, the quitter himself, Burns. Not Gilbert Burns, younger brother. Not so good. This definitely is a layup for Jack Jenkins. Obviously, the time off does worry me a little bit there, but there's a reason why he's a 5-1 favorite. He's not losing. Herbert Burns sucks, and he's going to get cut from the UFC because he's on a 2-fight skid as well. Next up, we have Kenan Son taking on Ricky Glenn. Same kind of thing. There's the reason why Kenan is the favorite, not necessarily because he's, Dricus Du Plessis or Sean Strickland or anything like that. It's just the fact of he's facing somebody like Ricky Glenn. Don't get me wrong, Ricky Glenn has moments where he's like, okay, but he's not UFC caliber. Kenan Son, he wobbled in Gary. His last fight, he looked great. Forget who does too, but I know he looked great. Let me just look that up before I start spitting shit out of my mouth. What did I just say? Kenan Son. His last matchup was, Kevin just said, and he took him to decision. Like, he's a solid fighter. Still 34, still being able to be active. Ricky Glenn, 35. I just don't think it's going to be close. I think Kenan Son definitely could have been a lock here. I just got to back Luana Santos. Fingers crossed she gets it done. Stuart Nicole debuts versus Jesus Aguilar. I got Jesus here. He is an underdog, but he's been tested within the UFC, and we know he's not necessarily top caliber yet. Still has some work to do, but he's dangerous. He's deadly on the feet. He has great submission attack, I guess, on the ground. He's just like that. You know what you're going to get out of Jesus. He's angry. He wants to hurt you, Where Stewart, he's good wrestling, good submissions. He does have somewhat power. I'm just going to trust the side of UFC experience here. Stewart, don't get me wrong, could win. There's a reason why he is a 2-1 favorite. I just not on the hype train yet until I've seen something out of him. Betting on debuts is always risky. Moving up into the next fight. Kind of been back and forth with this. Josh Kuliba versus Ricardo Ramos. I'm going with Ramos here. The reason being is because the fight only needs to go on the ground once for him. He's a very deadly submission artist, and he has good power and good stand-up game too. Takedown's kind of wishy-washy, but if he gets taken down, he knows he can handle his own there because he has great BJJ. Josh Kuliba, he's good. He just leaves like something that's undesirable, Like, he's just not always turned on to the level that you need him to be turned on to. And I feel like here, Ricardo Ramos obviously had a low IQ moment in his last fight, but I feel like he's improved, and hopefully he kept on growing from that. So I'm going to go with Ricardo Ramos because I feel like he's the more dangerous guy here. That's strictly it. Next, we have Justin Tafa taking on Walter Walker. The pick here is Tafa. Be careful with this one. Walter looks like he's more in shape now, better than his last fight. Problem is, though, in his last fight, he gassed after the first round, or like 45 seconds or something like that. You cannot trust somebody with that kind of cardio ever, until you've seen them go at least close to 15 minutes or even into the second round, gone into the second round, you know? Justin Tafa, we know he can do that. He's a power puncher. He's quick, dynamic, all that kind of stuff that you need. So I'm going to go with either Tafa, mainly experience, mainly the fact that I know he has cardio and I know what I'm going to get out of him. Walter, I just don't know yet. You know, if he's improved his cardio, fair enough. He's definitely is a deadly opponent here. You know, he's great wrestler and he is okay stand up, but he's mainly a wrestler, right? But his cardio, horrible stuff. Let's move on into the main card now, though. We have Tom Nolan taking on Alex Reyes. Easy layup for Tom Nolan. Alex Reyes is not good. Tom Nolan, a little bit chinny. So, you know, being a negative, 1,000 or negative 1,200 or whatever it is now, I don't know. It's fair, but it's not fair, you know? Because if you break down those odds, it's like 95% win rate, which, to be fair, he wins this 95% of the time. It's just the fact of Alex Reyes could just land a lucky shot and chin him. But Tom Nolan is the far more dangerous guy. Great striking. He has a ground game, tends to kind of want to keep it on the feet, though. Alex Reyes is just not good. Tom Nolan is going to win. Next up, pretty interesting matchup here. We have Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Gamrot is a phenomenal wrestler, great cardio, all that kind of stuff. The problem is, though, glass chin. If Dan Hooker lands, as Lucas Tracy says, a big meaty hook, RIP my man. Dan Hooker is a finisher. I don't like the time off for him. I don't think that's going to help him here. And I think Gamrot's with the cardio and the consistently, not getting rocked. I think he's going to be okay. Next up, we have Jingling Li. I think that's how you pronounce it. Don't get mad. Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates, he's patient. He's a counter striker, big power, big kicks. Doesn't really like taking it to the ground, but obviously he can if he wants to, but mainly a striker, and he's deadly. He likes the counters, big power. Jing Li, he's had some time off. I don't like that for him. And yeah, I don't know too much about Jing Li. I just know he's extremely tough, and I know he's had some time off. And I feel like for a striker, that's not going to be the best. He obviously does have takedowns as well if he wants to get it there. I think Prates' takedown defense and just the ability to be the fresher guy in this fight, younger, faster, more powerful, everything like that. There is concerns like, hey, like what if he, gasses himself out by punching as much? It's not Prates. He tends to be low volume. But that being said, though, he tends to be a counter anyway. So I feel like Jing Li is probably going to go to the decision here. So bet the over. So that's my pick for Prates. Pretty high confidence. We have Tai Tuivasa. I think his name is Bam Bam. Love that guy. Taking on Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who dominated the Blob Gaziev in his last fight. I'm going to go with Rozenstruik here. Even though both guys are old, this is going to end in a knockout. So bet fight does not go the distance. I think that's your best bet here. Rozenstruik, he's going to be waiting for the counter, and he has big power. Tai Tuivasa is going to be coming crashing in. It's either going to work for him and overwhelm Rozenstruik, or he's going to get counted and get knocked out. To be honest, I'm cheering for both guys here. I like both guys' fight style. But I just think Rozenstruik is going to be more technical and probably be able to land the counter on Tai Tuivasa, who has notoriously no chin. Co-main event time. Kai Kara France versus Steve Erceg. I'm going to go with Pizza Boy Steve Erceg. He gets it done. Okay, the fact that he arguably almost won against Pantoja means a lot. He's a deadly striker. He's the ability to throw elbows, kicks, punches, anything, right? He is solid. He has great takedown defense as well, so if Kai Kara tries to get it there, I think Steve Erceg is going to be able to, be able to stay on his feet. Kai Kara, he's great. Same kind of breakdown there. He's a great striker, great kicks, all that kind of stuff. The problem is he's just small. And I think this bigger guy in the cage here is going to be able to overwhelm it. The kicks, the damage is going to look a lot more impactful than Kai Kara France. He has to travel so much more distance to be able to land that hit. And Steve Erceg is a great counter striker. So I'm going to go with Steve. pretty confident in this one, actually. I was debating making him a lock, and you know, Kai Kara France has been away for a while. It's been out for like a year or so. Gonna favor my man Steve. I think he gets this done and probably another title shot after, if not one more fight, and then he's there. Main event time though. Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. I'm going with DDP. I'm actually like super confident in this one. I'm probably gonna lay a pretty big bet on this one. Dricus Du Plessis, he's a pressure fighter. He's notoriously durable. He has great low kicks. He has great pressure boxing as well. And also, if he wants to get a takedown, he will, and he will just hold you there. Insane cardio. He's taking on somebody like Israel, who's been away for a while after the bad beating by Sean Strickland, who, you know, he just stayed in Israel's face. And I think Israel being 35, 36 now, you know, he's not going to want to be in those kind of situations where he's going to get pressured for 5 rounds straight, which Du Plessis has the ability to. You know, think about this. Sean Strickland was the one pushing back Israel Adesanya. Yes, Adesanya probably had an off night that night, but Dricus Du Plessis pushed back Sean Strickland. You know, he's no joke. I think this is going to be end still. Israel Adesanya obviously could land that big shot. He has the range advantage there. If he stays on the outside, chips away, you know, yes, he could find success. Do I think Du Plessis is going to allow that to happen? No, he's going to get in Israel's face and then probably beat him for, I don't know, maybe fourth round KO, maybe. You know, Israel gets a little bit tired for being away for a year. How serious he's taking it, we don't know. You know, probably on the juice. You know, not going to defame him there, but it's all hypothetical. Dricus Du Plessis, though, confident pick. He's going to get it done. Let's get into the best bets of the card. Okay, let's get into the best bets of the card. We have Kanan. I think it's a pretty confident favorite. Obviously, Tom, look at the odds. He's going to win, especially because of his opponent. Same thing with Jack. Opponent is just bad. Steve Erceg, I think he's just going to be the favorite guy. He's going to get it done. And Protez, pretty confident in him too. So all of these guys should win. I'm super confident in them. Obviously, you could throw my lock in the weekend there as well, but obviously I don't want to overcrowd this section. Let's look at some underdogs. We have DDP. He's a solid underdog. He's a great pressure fighter. Ramos, he's just a deadly fighter. He just had a poor IQ moment, and if that fight never happened, I think these odds would be different. I think Ramos would probably be the favorite because he's the more deadly fighter. Josh Kulibal, obviously, he's a tough fighter, doesn't give up on himself, but Ramos has the finishing potential here. I think, if anything, Josh is going to take this to the decision. I just don't think Ricardo Ramos is going to get there. We have, obviously, Walker. It's a light heavyweight fight. Anything could happen. One punch could end it all. If Walker did fix his cardio, he has a great chance of winning this. Obviously, just take down Junior Tafa and you're going to win. But if he didn't fix the cardio, which is why I'm going to go on the side of Tafa here, Tafa will get it done because he's better cardio and has the abilities to knock him out. Next up, Jesus, the exact same reasoning as Ramos there. He's just a deadly fighter. He has the ability to knock you out and he has the ability to submit you. And I just think he's more deadly on Stewart, and I just haven't seen anything from Stewart yet. You know, yes, same thing. Stewart has great KOs and great submissions, but they're all in the regional scene with lower competition. I think Jesus, he's Mexican, you know, he has a dog in him. I just don't think he's going to give up as easy as people think. So Jesus, I think, is a solid underdog on the card. My favorite part, though, let's get into the parlay section. First up, we have Gamrot and Steve. Gamrot is also another confident favorite. The reason why he's not on the most confident is because, obviously, he gets dropped in every one of his fights. And Dan Hooker is a savage as well, even though he has been off for a while. I think Gamrot's going to get it done. I just think the cardio, the wrestling, all that's going to play a huge factor there. And you could throw Steve in there, you know. Good odds for that one. Next, we have Jack and Protez. Great combination. Jack, his opponent sucks, and Protez, I think he's going to get it done because he's a patient counter striker. Next up, we have Kanan and Tom. Same kind of stuff. Two confident favorites there. You can obviously swap around any one of those. So if you're more confident in Jack and not Protez, for example, put Jack and Kanan together, or Jack and Gamrot together, right? That kind of thing. Let's get into some more juicier parlays. We have DDP and Steve. So if you want to go main event, co-main event, that's a great parlay. Next, we have Ramos and Jesus, the two most dangerous underdogs. I like it. You could also do over 1.5 set. Their prop bets for those haven't really landed yet, but I think it's going to be pretty safe. So I like Steve Erceg. Both guys are durable in that fight, and DDP and Adesanya. I think it's going to go over 1.5. I think it's going to be into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I think that's where the fight's going to go. Some props that I like is fight does not go the distance for the Tai Tuivasa fight. They're both heavyweights. They're going to go out. I just can't imagine that going to the decision there, especially with the crash, the car crash kind of style from Tai Tuivasa. It's not going to decision. Gamrot by decision. If you want to play both sides, you can also do Dan by KO. Reason being, Dan's a decision not Dan. Gamrot is a decision fighter. And Dan Hooker, he has the ability to drop people, and he's very vicious if he does. So I like that by the KO or TKO. Fight does not go the distance for Tafa, and also by Jack as well. I don't think either one of those are going the distance. Kanon, he has crazy power. I think Kanon could easily KO Ricky Glenn. And then the other one is if you want to play both sides on the Stewart and Nicolo fight, and versus the Jesus, both guys by sub. I think either one of them could sub the other guy. KO, not leaning towards that. I think both guys are going to want to take it to the ground, and with that, it's just a battle of submissions. My side is Jesus, but obviously pick your side, do your research. So that was everything. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe. Obviously, comment your thoughts below. So if you disagree in any of my takes, feel free to give a comment, and obviously we can discuss there. Follow the socials as I mentioned, and let's see if we can get 100 subscribers. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.